This is Red Sea. I've had this for a very long time, but I just never really quite had the time to finish it. I mean, it's in a wooden panel. I mean, I already have the undersketching. I already painted it on top of it. This is in a burnt umber brown. This is just a thin layer, but I wanted to add an extra layer of paint so that when I add in the colors in the block, it's going to be even more vibrant. I just want to make sure that I still see the sketches. I mean, I don't see it precisely, but I still have some recollection of what it was. Got everything ready. Got my paint box. Let's open it up. Voila! My thinner, all natural. This isn't all chemicals. I don't really like using chemicals. I can't find my proper paint brushes, but I guess these would do for now. So I've got my paint brushes here. I do need to invest myself in proper good quality paint brushes though. I think Rosemary & Co. does the best type of paint brushes. This is really just like an Amazon brand. How much of a difference does it make in creating good quality work? Or if there's any difference? This is the first layer that I've done with that. Now I want to add a little bit more pop to it, so when I add the colors, it's going to be so vibrant. So I just use artist quality paints for underpainting. The first layer I just use Student lower pigmentation, and then the second layer I use artist quality paints like the Rembrandt ones. They're a good brand. Gamblin is another good brand. They're artist quality. And then the last stage is, you know, when we're doing the actual colors and the details, I use master grade paints. Like my favorite one is Michael Harding. There's also Old Holland and other types of different master grade oil paints. But the structure of that is that the first layer is student quality, because that's when you're just blocking in the canvas. You don't really need that high pigmentation yet. Then the second one is artist quality, so that, you know, higher pigmentation of the oil paint. So, you know, that's when you start to build in the colors. Not as detailed yet, but, you know, you want that good pigmentation so that when you put in finally the final coat of the paint, the colors, which is the master quality paints, then, you know, that has the highest pigments of colors. So once you actually put that last bit in, the colors just pop out. And that's the layers I work and operate in. Aha, finally found it. So we're going to be putting Venetian red. Now, I would typically just use student grade paints or either an artist grade. I would suggest really just using any type of like warm reddish earth tones, and that's what I would suggest adding on top of this, because this is still, as you can see, very bland. So I just wanted to add a little bit more pop of color in this one. Got my wooden palette ready, and let's get to painting. Gonna be adding a smidge. Oh, now Michael Harding is one of my favorite oil paints because they have such good quality pigments. Dip it on a little bit thinner, make it all runny. Make sure it's transparent and start blocking in. Ooh. Now it's important to understand that with underpainting, especially when you use a thinner, a little goes a long way. Your key really is to add as much thinner as you can to the oil paint, that it contains that transparent look without compromising on the colors. So like this, you don't want it to be, you know, too thick like this, but you want it to be runny. So adding thinner makes it runny like this. So you can still see the underpainting or the undersketching if you have any of that, just like that. This is all about blocking in the colors of the canvas. So once you actually do paint, you have something for the top layers to actually stick onto. As you can see, that little smidge of paint does go a long way. But like I said, I would suggest using lower quality paints, because you really want a lot of this, you know, you really want to be putting a lot of this. So if you have lower quality paints, they do come cheaper, so cuts down somewhat on your production costs. I'm using this sparingly, but when I do have, you know, the big tubs of paints, I mean, I just squeeze it on this side, squeeze it on this side, and then just run through a big old thinner and just swipe the whole canvas with it. That's because you can afford to do that, because it's cheaper. But this one, I mean, you gotta be economical with this. So just a quick backstory with this painting. As the title suggests, this is a painting about the Red Sea, the splitting of the Red Sea, of the Exodus story of Moses leading the Israelites to the Promised Land. One of the most renowned story of the Bible. So when you do see bits that are a little bit darker than the others, like this one's darker, just make sure you brush through it with a little bit of thinner, just to evenly spread the paint. Because there are going to be some parts of the canvas when you're doing this that are going to be a little bit darker. So just make sure you evenly spread it out with the thinner. You don't want to be having dark spots in other places. So this is Moses on top with his rod, This is his sister Miriam and his brother Aaron over here. Now, most of you know Moses as the main protagonist of the story. But did you know that it was actually Aaron that spoke for him? Because Moses had a stutter, he had a speech impediment that he couldn't really speak in public. So he struggled to voice out his thoughts and especially speak to the public. That's why it was Aaron that spoke for him. This guy right here. Ain't that cool? So when you look at the story of the Bible and when you watch the movie Moses, a Disney movie or any other iteration of that story in motion pictures, and you see Moses speaking, you see Moses at the forefront, the true story of that somewhat differs, as it was Aaron that was speaking to the public, that was speaking to the people. It was him that was giving out those big speeches, and God used Aaron and his brother Moses to do his work. I want this Red Sea to really be raging, like that split in the middle. I wanted this to be a bigger piece, but this is the only canvas at that time that I had. But who knows, maybe it will pave the way for a bigger work that I will do in the future of the Red Sea. I've left this painting out for so long though. Yeah, I prepared this canvas in like 2021 and I still haven't painted it till today. And I just wonder, it makes you wonder, like, how many great works of artists like Van Gogh, Da Vinci was out there that was never even made, was never even seen. And that's my greatest fear, for great works that I could have created to just be hidden from the world. So it's my obligation as an artist to show it to the world. Nearly there, to make sure that there's the white patches or the parts where they seem a little bit lighter is also covered with enough pigments for the next layer to bind onto. Painting and art is all about layers, just like life. And there you go, finito. Hope you like this, and I hope you're intrigued by the story, and I actually can't wait for this to come out. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and follow me in my art journey and creating more wondrous works. Till next time.